Hey, welcome to the show. It's the Dr. Goof here, and today we are going to do some Scratch programming. We are going to make a clicker game, and what that means is we're going to put an object on the screen, and when you click it, you get so many points, and the goal is to get as many points as you can. The first thing we're going to do, I've gone to scratch.mit.edu. I will put a link to that below, but let's jump right into it. What we want to do, I don't think I want to make it a cat clicker game. So I'm going to right click on the cat. I'm going to delete that. I am going to add a new sprite. And I need to find a character that I want to add in here. Let's go look around. What kind of character do we want? I was kind of hoping for a cow, but there's no cow. Let's just do a button. Alright. A couple things. I want to check the costumes. And I'm just going to center that in the middle of the screen. I thought there might be two different costumes for this so that the button would appear differently after you click it, but there isn't. So let's just go with that. And if we go back into scripts and go to events, there is a when this sprite is clicked. That seems like exactly what we want. So let's drag this over to the right hand side. When this sprite is clicked. And what do we want to do in there? Every time this sprite is clicked, let me think what we want to do. We want to create a data that keeps our score. So we're going to need a data variable to keep track of our score. Let's go back into data. Let's make a new variable and let's title it score. Let's save that and go back into events. We also need when a green flag is clicked. We need that because we are going to set the score to 0. When we start a new game. Then when this sprite is clicked, all we need to do is change score by 1. And I think that's all it's going to take to make this into a clicker game. I'm going to click the green flag here. See what happens? Nothing really happens. I click this button and you'll notice my score is increasing. 3, 4. And if I click it really, really fast, it gets lots and lots of score, and my score keeps going up. Here would be a nice feature of this game. When you get to 100 points, maybe you want your clicker to give you 2 points for every click. That kind of makes sense to me. It might make the game a little bit more fun. It'll get you a little bit farther into the game. Let's take a look at how we would do that. In order to do that, then we need something to increment our score. And increment means add to something. So instead of always adding 1 to our score, we need to add some other number. Because once we get above 100, we're going to have to add 2. And maybe once we get above 200, we're going to add 3. But let's quick take a look at this. And we're going to make a new variable. And we're going to call it points per click. So that's a pretty long name. And I can even make it a little bit easier to read by putting some dashes in there. Points per click. And when we start our game, we're going to set points per click to 1. Because initially when you start your game, you want that value to be 1. Also in the when flag is clicked, I think we're going to put in a control loop. It's going to be a forever loop. And what it's going to do inside this forever loop, we're going to do a very quick if then. And we're going to look at an operation, and we're going to say if our score is greater than 100, let's find this greater than. our score is greater than 100, we want to set our points per click equal to 2. How do we do that? We drag in data, we drag in score. If score is greater than 100, let's type these in. Then we want to set points per click equal to 2. Now, last thing we need to do to try this out, instead of changing score by 1, we need to change score by points per click. Drag that up in there. Now, let's stop our game. Let's start it again. You'll notice score is 0, points per click is 1. Let's hit this button. I got to hit it 100 times before we should see points per click go up to 2, and then our score will start increasing faster. I'm already up to the 60s, going into the 70s. I've got Trey and Riker right next to me trying to build along. So I got to 100. Now when I hit 100 to 1, you'll notice points per click jump to 2 there. So now when I'm scoring, I'm going from 111 to 113 to 115. So each of my clicks, it's an odd number. And the reason it is odd is because my score had to get to 101 in order for this part right here to be true. Because when my score was 100, 100 is not greater than 100. So I had to get to a score of 101 for it to be greater than 100. We can click on that and we can play it some more. Anyhow, there's a very simple clicker game. I'm going to change the name up at the top to Simple Button Clicker. And we can build on that. Here's an exercise, something that you can try at home or try to expand on this game a little bit. How would you set this up so that your points could increase when you got to 200? So maybe when you get to a score of 200, now instead of getting 2 points per click, you get 3 points per click or 5 points per click. Can you set that up? Can you add some more levels in there so that your clicker game, the higher you get, the more points you get for every click? Anyhow, I will make another video for how you do that, but I wanted to give everybody listening a chance to try that on their own. I'll put links to the new video with how you go multiple levels. I'll put links to that down below in the description of this video, but good luck with that, and you can try that exercise at home. You got yours clicking, Trey?
No. It does that. But